Is Sony coming out with a PlayStation 5 this year? And what the fuck is going on with Fortnite and YouTube? Let's get into the news. Yes, it seems like Sony is starting to take a step forward to their next big move in the gaming scene with a new console in the works, according to rumors. These rumors are started creeping up last month when a writer made a tweet that a PS5 development kit with an AMD accelerated processing unit and a next-gen Navi series GPU and Zen 2 CPU were in production, and that we could be seeing this as soon as later this year. Now, with these being rumors and speculation, I do need to implore a heavy notion of skepticism. Nothing has been confirmed yet, and it is very unlikely that we will be seeing a new console this year. And there has been even more concrete rumors floating around that it's actually been slated for a 2020 release. But even then, I still have doubts about the release date for this. Though I do have to say there is some evidence. I don't want to call it evidence, let's just call it more of coincidences cropping up that does seem to support it. For one, the person that made these claims, Marcus Seller, has made accurate claims in the past when it comes to leaked information, and he also claimed that development kits for the new console were in the hands of third-party developers. CD Projekt Red, for one, the developer of the Witcher series, has announced that their upcoming title, Cyberpunk 2077, was being developed for current and next-gen consoles. Now, this could easily have just been a coincidental joke made by the developers who actively know that their game has been in the development cycle for quite a while now, but it is worth mentioning. But even with that, I still have doubts that we're going to see anything anytime soon. The president of the CEO of Sony even stated that in an interview that the PS5 will be here at some point, but it won't be here at any time soon. So if anything gets released in 2020, it's more likely that it'll just be an upgraded version of the PS4. Well, yeah, like it'll be like a PS4 Elite or something like that, something more powerful than the PS4 Pro. But even then, Sony has also mentioned that they aren't exactly comfortable with doing that either, and rightfully so. It has been well documented that the longer a console remains on the market, the more profit it does bring in, with manufacturing costs being reduced over time and a player base growing larger and larger. I mean, we've seen this with PSVR, so they could also be pushing that as well. Also, with the PlayStation 4 selling very well, it means publishers are still able to market their games on the platform. And let's be honest, it just doesn't make sense to cut off support for that console just now when there's still a large community of people on it. I don't know, though. We'll just have to wait to see more concrete information when it comes out. Now, if you guys are interested in more details about that, if you guys want to learn more information on it, links, as always, will be down below. Now it's time to move into some things that are awesome. We actually only have one thing, and that is The Incredibles 2 got trailer number 3 released. If you guys want to check that out, it'll be down below. And now it's time for some things that suck. And we got our first look at the actors for the live-action TV series of Teen Titans, and they look terrible. Let's get the picture up. Okay, Beast Boy looks like Ezra Miller and Jacksepticeye decided to fuse together to become one. Plus, he isn't even green. Raven looks like somebody who's about to give you a lecture at a college campus about your privilege. And Starfire. What did they do to Starfire? I mean, oh my god, man. She looks like a straight-up street hooker. And no, this isn't an actress issue. Anna Diop is beautiful. She definitely has a look to pull off this part. But man, that outfit and that hairstyle they picked is just horrible. It just isn't working. They both take away way too much attention from the actress herself. And to be honest, it just looks... I've seen cosplays that are a hell of a lot better than that. I'm worried about this show. Like, I just seeing this has me concerned for the show. But, I've been surprised before. Hopefully I'm surprised again. But just seeing these outfits, I'm not feeling it. And moving off that, it's probably one of the most disgusting stories of 2018 so far, and that is something that revolves around YouTube and Fortnite. So, lately there has been a trend of strip Fortnite videos that have been making the rounds on YouTube. Now, to be fair, these videos started cropping up around sometime last year, but have really been making the rounds, but definitely been gaining some momentum in the recent months due to the likes of large creators like Rice Gump jumping on board and posting their own videos. The way these challenges basically work is every time a person dies in Fortnite, generally they are a female co-star, they then discard a piece of clothing they are currently wearing. Now, I've seen the rise and fall of the pranks gone sexual era of clickbaiting on YouTube, so this is really nothing new to me. It's just the same old song and dance. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up in particular is because the lengths that some of these creators went to in order to effectively clickbait their video is absolutely disgusting. They involve them posting videos with titles that suggest that minors are involved in these challenges. One creator in particular had his 13-year-old sister stripping. So not only do we have a creator basically marketing the over-sexualization of his supposed sister, there's actually disputes online to whether she actually is a sister or if she's even 13, we also have a creator trying to bank off on pedophilia. I mean, not only is this absolutely disgusting, it is beyond dumb. You had to have your brain smacked into a pancake to assume that promoting something like this was ever going to go over well. And it wasn't just that creator that was doing it. There are other creators posting videos with titles promoting 14 to 16-year-olds being involved with this. There's even one creator who promoted a 2-year-old being involved in it. Now, obviously, the YouTube community was not at all happy about this, and it wasn't long before the creator actually deleted the video, but it just showcases the sick levels that some of these content creators are actually willing to go to in order to achieve large view counts in a very quick amount of time. And I don't get it either. There are tons of ways to go about doing these challenge videos and garner tons of views quickly without breaking guidelines of the site, or worse, promoting incest or pedophilia. Just make a damn video about your sister dressing you up in an outfit or choosing something like that every time you die. Call it the cross-dressing challenge or some dumb shit like that. Don't be promoting shit like this. But to be honest with you guys, I don't think these kind of creators will ever do something like that, because I think these creators are too afraid to take a hit at their own ego in order to gain views, to be honest with you. Now, I do want to point out that some of these videos are actually still up on YouTube. And I know I said in the last video that I don't really agree with any more YouTube regulations, but I do think that these videos violate the guidelines in the YouTube community. For one, whether these videos are troll videos, something like rickrolling, or if they're actually involving children stripping off clothes, I think either one of those violates the guidelines. The troll videos or the rickrollings would be considered spam, and then the children stripping off clothes, even if they're not in the full nude, would still be considered sexualization of children. So either way around, I think that they need to be removed. And I don't think content creators should be posting this kind of stuff. Some of the content creators were smart about it. They just put, so-and-so model stripping, and then them just having them remove their coat, which, yes, technically they are stripping. That is technically considered a strip because they stripped off their coat. But in terms of the 13-year-olds, the 14-year-olds, the 16s, the 2s, that shit needs to be removed. That is unacceptable beyond belief. And finally, for the last thing that sucks, we have Mark Hamill, who has made it clear that he is no longer interested in returning to the Star Wars franchise due to the passing of Carrie Fisher and because Harrison Ford is no longer involved with the movies. Now, he says that this is primarily the reason, and I do believe him when he says that, but a lot of people are also saying that the negative feedback from The Last Jedi might have also played a part into this, and I can't lie, a part of me sees that too. The Last Jedi was a very diverse film for the Star Wars community. It was probably one of the most diverse of Star Wars movies. It wasn't like the prequels where they dumbed it down, but it still had its fun moments. It was, at its core, a Rian Johnson liberal agenda movie first and a Star Wars movie second. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Star Wars having political motivations involved with it. In fact, Star Wars has always had underlining political motivations behind it. That has been present since Episode 4. But the way they did it before, it was always so subtle that it never actually got in the way of the story and created plot holes. And that's not what happened in The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi decided they wanted to focus more on that political agenda and push that so heavily into the story that it actually created plot holes. And the way that Rian just deconstructed the character that is Luke Skywalker, I think that just broke a lot of people's hearts. I know I felt that way. It was one of the worst things about the movie. And I think Mark Hamill, along with the pain of losing Carrie, might have also felt the same feedback from a lot of people. Now, this is complete speculation, but he has been saying for a while now that he disagreed entirely with what Rian did to his character. So I don't think that it's that far of a stretch to think that this might have also played a part in his disinterest to return to the franchise. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, The Last Jedi was disappointing to me. It had its good moments, but for the most part, it disappointed me, and it kind of disinterested me from the franchise as well. Like, I'm not that as interested in seeing the last movie, Episode 9, as I was before. I'm not as interested in seeing Solo as I was before. I don't know. It's just a number of things about the movies that I just disinterested me from this franchise at this point. And that's not to say I won't go see Solo, or it's not to say that I won't go see Episode 9 at this point. I will. I definitely will. But if Episode 9 doesn't pick up the slack that The Last Jedi threw down, then I'm just not considering it canon anymore. Like, I don't care what Disney says. Timothy Zahn's Heir of the Empire is going to be canon to me. I mean, you're more than welcome to consider that the official canon. That's perfectly fine. But to me, Timothy Zahn's Heir of the Empire will most likely always be the official canon. Because this shit is just garbage, you know? The fact that Rey could just pick up a lightsaber and just be amazing at it with just a little training at a rock is just bullshit to me. The fact that she is as awesome and if not more powerful than Luke was with the Force is just crap to me. You know, and I know some of you will be like, oh, well, Luke got really good at it when he was in Empire Strikes Back. He lifted a couple of rocks. He failed at lifting an X-Wing, and he got his ass kicked by Darth Vader. Plus, there was no real time. There was no real substance of time between when he arrived to Dagobah to when he left to go to Cloud City. We actually have no real perception of how long he spent there. So it was, for us, he could have spent a couple of months there, and we wouldn't even known it. But with Rey, it was just like a couple of days, and then she went and fought what's his face? He fought those royal guards that had been training under Snoke, who smacked the shit out of Rey, and she was able to keep up with them. And that kind of threw off my suspension of disbelief. And then she was able to overpower Kylo Ren again, which also threw off my suspension of disbelief. I'm getting into my little bit of a rant right now, and I'm not gonna get into it because let's be honest, it'll take up the rest of the video. And I do like having a little bit of a longer video, but let's just end it here. I mean, if you guys want an entire video of me dissecting the things that I don't like about Star Wars The Last Jedi, I'm more than willing to. But I do have to say that there were some pretty awesome scenes in The Last Jedi. Like, the one particular scene that I loved was Captain Purplehair, I don't even remember her name, Captain Purplehair slamming her frigate into the Super Star Destroyer. And just that visual scene was amazing. That was awesome. Now, it brings up plot holes, but that's like a suspension of disbelief plot holes. Like, it was one of those plot holes. It was kind of like the blowing up the Death Star 2 right by Endor, and why the scraps didn't blow up Endor or something like that. It was that kind of suspension of disbelief. But there were definitely things that I liked about it, and I don't know. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry if I carried out a little bit too long. But if you guys enjoyed the episode, feel free to leave a like. If you didn't, dislike. If you guys want more, feel free to subscribe. And if you want to help the channel out, feel free to share. I will see you all on the next one. Mars out.